This is Jackie Blundell here from Delinea, joined by Mike Privette from Return on Security. We're going to be diving into what's happening in the identity security market and what's making identity so hot and continue to be so hot. So Mike, thank you for joining us today.
Yeah, thanks so much for having me.
I'm super excited to dig into this topic with you and get your perspective on it. So I'm just going to ask you, what is, from your point of view, making identity security so hot right now?
Identity has always been hot, to be honest, and it's just getting more hot with each technological wave. The fact that you can't do anything without an identity is pretty central to security, and so everyone is putting AI in everything. We're trying to use it in every possible way, and everyone's scrambling right now to figure out, well, how do I put identity around that? How do I control it? And the answer is it's very hard. Basically,
it's not an easy task.
Not easy.
Yeah.
It's moving very, very fast.
Yeah.
But and all of that combined with unlimited access to things, unlimited data, we don't really understand how the technology works a lot of times yet because it's changing so quickly.
Yep.
New methods are coming out. That just makes identity a very hard problem.
Yeah, I think the AI problem, the Agentic AI growth has already compounded a problem. We haven't solved privilege access.
No.
We haven't solved it for human identities.
That's right, yeah.
Never mind Agentic AI. So why is privilege access why has it been so hard when so many people have been focused on this problem?
Honestly, it's been a problem for as long as I can remember. It's the topic of pretty much every audit I've ever been through. Is how do you manage permissions that need to be there for business operations and resilience, but not all the time. But you don't know when business is going to break. Yeah. So how do you manage that just in time, that privilege level of access without over permissioning? It's just extremely hard to solve.
Yeah.
And so I think that's become even more important now with AI and just agentic everything, because they are extremely permissioned entities, and then so people are going to have to be able to use that in and out of different environments, and it's just going to have to be a problem that people have to get around and try to make sure it's agentic privileged access.
Yeah. And this is the first time that security professionals have had to deal with figuring out how to secure a new technology, right? You've seen it with cloud, you've seen it with all these other different iterations of technology in the past.
Yeah.
What makes this specific evolution of tech, Agentic AI, different from what we've seen in the past, and what makes this harder, or is it not harder? We just need to take the lessons learned from the past and apply them to this next wave.
I think it's a little bit of both. The AI has been adopted quicker probably than any technology ever, I would say, and it's not just the techies who are doing it, which is actually part of the problem, I think, and also the opportunity, but everyone is consuming it. Every line of business, every industry vertical is using it or being mandated to use it in some way, so, and you can see the potential of what could be true if you could just make all these AI things and these promises even partially real. There's a tremendous business opportunity, and that's why there's so much money going into this in the space in general, so much money being spent in AI, and then so much money being spent on security around that, because if this is going to be the central way businesses and people work, it's incredibly important. But on that same token, we don't necessarily have to reinvent the wheel every single time. We just have to put buffers around it. And I'll say kudos to the security industry at large this time for jumping headfirst into the tech instead of saying, I don't know about this. Yeah. It's been nice to see people just say no, the only way we'll know this is if we play with it, try to break it, and then figure out how to secure it the right way. And so it's encouraging to see that, but it's still forming.
Yeah, I think I've felt I've seen a lot of security leaders and CISOs not shying away from deploying AI in the enterprise. There's definitely reservations and areas of concern, but they know the cat's out of the bag, right?
Can't go back.
There's no putting this one back in. So it's we just have to be proactive about dealing with it.
That's right.
So I guess from your point of view, where are you seeing a lot of CISOs on their journey? When you have conversations, are you seeing that they're still in infancy stages? Are you seeing that they have governance programs in place? Where are you seeing in terms of the security maturity around securing AI?
It's still very early in most companies. I would say we're better than we were last year or 2 years ago when it came out. Most people are still in that understanding what the shape is and trying. It's that governance piece of what do I have, and whether it's right or wrong. Let me know what I have, and then what do I have? What does it have access to? What can it do? What's the worst case scenario? So people are trying to figure those things out. And then people that are trying to figure out what AI governance means, right? Because it's many different things, and it is very similar to governance programs, but also very unique in that it's changing faster than most tech has ever changed, so that nothing about it can be static. So I think part of the challenge that CISOs and security leaders are having is just keeping up with the pace of the change, and then how to have a flexible governance structure. I think that's the most challenging piece, is that because it's not the way they've had to do it before. Right? You can't meet once a month and be like, well, we governed things. You know, it has to be a very active thing. You have to, and you need tech to do it. Like,
you can't set the policy and forget it, right?
No, there's no way.
It's changing too fast. There's a new AI new tool that people are using all the time. So I think it's like a never-ending cycle of updating your governance program.
That's right.
So yeah, with that said, what else should CISOs be watching out for over the next 12 months? What are you hearing on the show floor, and what are the things that are top of mind that they should be looking forward to?
Honestly, we have to figure out what identity is, and I'm not just saying that. Like, that's actually important. Like, we have to figure out how to give them agents first-class rights. Basically, they are a real thing. They have real shape. They read real identities, and they need to manage that access and authorization all around it. Otherwise, like it's too happy to comply and to find new ways to do whatever the goal is, even if those ways are breaking things or hacking things. It really wants to please the end users, which is kind of great. So what I'm seeing everyone now is like, how do you first discover, and then how do you first wrap some identity around it? And so those are the biggest takeaways, and where I think we'll be there for the next probably 12 to 18 months, figuring that bucket of work out.
100%. Yeah, I think that we're on the Delinea side seeing the discovery and the visibility is kind of where we're at right now.
Yep.
Of course, we do a bit of that here at Delinea, but we're hearing a lot of the same things.
Yeah.
So on a lighter note, we did just launch a new brand campaign here at RSA. Nothing happening is everything in identity security, because what does the CISO want to happen? Nothing. No breaches, no disruptions, nothing bad going on. So I'm just asking lighthearted question. What do you do when you have nothing going on? What do you do when you have nothing ruining your day?
Then I get to do fun stuff with AI as opposed to fix stuff. I'm like, let's make a cool beer app, just that kind of stuff.
Fun. Okay, so that's what you're doing in your spare time. I love it.
I drink a lot of wine, and I found an API key for a wine app, and then I built my own portfolio of what kind of wines do I like, so I can go to the store, because I'm not that educated in wine, but I like it, so I can say I like this particular varietal from Portugal, and they're like, oh, this guy knows what he's talking about, and it's just my app. So
amazing. Well, hopefully you can enjoy a nice glass of wine after you wrap up your day at RSA. Thank you for joining us in our content studio. It's been a pleasure to have you. And if you guys want to hear more from Mike, follow him on Return on Security, and hopefully we'll be partnering again very soon. Thank you for joining us.
Thanks for having me so much.
Awesome.
Cheers.